In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a chip bouquet. Coming up next. Hi, I'm Diette, and welcome to Turtle Creativity, where we make crafting and crocheting easy. For today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a chip bouquet. Now, for this project, you're going to need chips, of course. I'm using 18 bags of chips. You'll also need some bamboo skewers, some tape. I'm using 3 different types of tape: masking tape, packing tape, and I'm using double-sided tape. You'll also need some scissors, rubber bands. You'll need some paper. I'm using bulletin board paper, but you can use gift wrap. You can take construction paper and tape it together to be the size of your bouquet. You just need some paper to cover up your chips. I'm also using tissue paper to give it that pop. You'll also need some ribbon. So I tied the ribbon at the bottom. Let's get crafting now. Okay, so rolling up my sleeves just a tad. I'm ready to dive into this project. So for my chip bouquet, I wanted my stems of my chip flowers to be long. However, the bamboo skewers that I had and the ones that I was looking at in the store, they weren't quite as long enough that I wanted for my flowers. So what I decided to do was just tape them together. So if your bamboo skewers is the length that you want, you don't have to worry about this part. This is only if you want your chip flowers to be longer for the bouquet. So if you're like me and you need your bamboo skewers to be longer, all you need to do is just take some tape. I put them together where the 2 pointy pieces are. So I put the 2 pointy pieces together and I just wrap the tape around that portion, and I just continue to wrap it around, wrap it around, wrap it around. Okay? And I'm just going to take another piece of tape just to make sure that those two bamboo skewers are nice and secure. Okay? So I'm going to do this 17 more times so that I can have a total of 18 for my chips. I'll see you when I'm done. Now that I finished putting together all of my bamboo skewers, I'm ready to attach my bamboo skewers to my chip bags. So all I need to do now is just take a chip bag, flip it over, and I'm using my masking tape again, and I'm just going to tape it to the bag. So the way I do it is I put a piece at the bottom, a piece at the top, and then I come down with putting a piece in the middle and another piece across. And I just do that just to make sure that my chips is nice and secure onto the bamboo skewer. So continue doing that, and I'll see you once I do the rest of the 17 chips. Now that all of my chips are taped to my bamboo skewers, now it's time for me to bundle them up in bundles of 3s and 4s. This will make it easier for me when I move on to create the big chip bouquet. So when you do this process, you can do it where you may want to bundle up all of the same types of chips together, or you can mix and match. You can do it by color, you can do it by size. Do it however you want to do. It's time for you to get creative. So for my first bundle, I am using sour cream and onion potato chips. Now, I selected this one because they were green. So my first bundle is going to be a bundle of 3, and I'm just going to bunch them up, pull them together, bunch them up to the design I want. You can have one up, one down. You could have had like one at the top. You could have did it like, 1 is there and then 2 is here, or you could feather it out like this. You can do this however you want to do. For me, I'm just going to lay them one over top of the other one like this. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your tape and go ahead and tape all 3 together. And this makes it easier for when you're working and placing it into your big chip bouquet. That way you're only having to deal with a few bundles versus the 18 bags or however many that you're using. So I'm going to go ahead and also put some tape at the bottom. So you see, there's our first one all taped up. Now, you're going to continue to do this for all of your chips, and I'll meet you when I'm done. Now that all of my chip flours have been bundled together in groups of 3, 4, and even 1 is 2, I'm going to lay down my tissue paper and I'm going to get ready to build my big chip bouquet. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on the angle of a diamond so that the paper is kind of sticking up out of the paper. And I'm putting down 2 pieces of tissue paper on top of each other. And then 1 more like towards the bottom. Just like that. Okay? I'm just going to lay the tissue paper to the side because I will need those to squish it up and give it that pop. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start, and I can go ahead and start with my Lay's potato chips, and I'm just going to move it as close to the top as I can. Just like that, okay? And I'm going to place all of the bundles on top of each other to create the design that I want. I'll meet you when I'm done. Okay, so now that all of my chips are in the layout that I want my chips to be in, I'm going to go ahead and take my masking tape and begin to tape all of the little bundles together. Doing this, I'm now creating one big, nice chip bouquet. And what I like to do is that the ones that kind of poke out from the different bouquets, I just push them together and tape them down. Okay. So now what I'm ready to do is the tissue paper that was laying there, I'm now going to begin to wrap it around my chip bouquet. Wrapping it around. And I'm twisting it around this bamboo skewer stems or the chip stems. And I'm just going to take a couple of pieces of tape to secure the tissue paper around the chip stems. Now I'm ready for the bulletin board paper that I'm going to add. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift my chip bouquet, and my bulletin board paper, I'm putting it on an angle so that the point can be in the middle of my chip bouquet, placing it down onto my new color. And now I'm going to wrap this paper around my bouquet, folding it down and twisting it all around the end of my chip stems. Again, just giving it that, twisting it, rolling it, just to give it the little design that you want, you desire, that you like. While I'm doing my paper, I'm also looking at my chip flowers, and I'm fluffing them out the same time, because you're doing your paper, your flowers, you're doing it all at the same time to make sure that it's exactly how you want it. Now at this point, I want to make sure that my paper is covering all of my bamboo skewers. So I'm kind of scrunching it all the way at the bottom, scrunching it all the way through the stems. So this is where my masking tape comes in. I'm going to take my masking tape and I'm going to wrap it around the entire bottom portion of my chip bouquet. I like packing tape because it's clear and it also secures any of the bamboo skewers that might possibly pop out. I'm taking my packing tape and just wrapping it all the way around. With my scissors, I'm going to go ahead and cut. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few sheets of tissue paper, fold it up, sort of like this to give it a little design, and I'm going to stick it into the sides of my bouquet, wherever I think it needs that little pop. Now that I'm done with the pop of the tissue paper, I'm ready to add the ribbon. So what I'm going to do is take my ribbon and I'm going to measure it up to make sure that I have enough ribbon for me to wrap it around twice and to give it a nice bow. I think that'll be enough ribbon. This is where my double-sided tape comes in handy. I'm going to take a piece of double-sided tape and I'm going to place it right at the top portion of my chip flower stems. Then I'm going to take my ribbon, make sure I have it shiny side up, and once I know that it's even, I'm going to place my tape down because I want to face it down, and then I'm going to wrap it around and bring it to the front so I can tie and make a bow. Here is my complete chip bouquet. I'll see you in the next one, and subscribe for more.